But first, we have exclusive audio of Tyler Robinson's grandfather, the original owner of the rifle that was found after Charlie Kirk was killed, the one that the bomb dogs couldn't detect because their noses malfunctioned that day. The one that the feds led the police officers to, the rookie police officers to, after the dogs had already searched that particular area. Wouldn't it be kind of interesting to hear what Grandpa thinks? Does he think Tyler Robinson is guilty? Do you think Tyler Robinson is guilty? Let's find out.
So Candace Owens just dropped bombshell audio from Tyler Robinson's grandfather at his hearing, and it completely destroys the official narrative. This is the man whose rifle allegedly killed Charlie Kirk, yet he's supporting his grandson's innocence. We're diving into prosecutorial misconduct and federal overreach that should terrify every American.
Right? Because we have been told by many liars on the internet that Tyler Robinson's family does not support him. To the contrary, they turned him in, remember? They recognized Grandpa's gun on the news. Dad or mom recognized Grandpa's gun on the news, which is weird because the news did not actually release a photo of Grandpa's gun. They just released a photo of something similar. Anyways, the story goes, according to the liars, that they then convinced him to turn himself in. They think their son's guilty. They're going to testify against him. Now, I have told you from the very beginning that that is simply not true, that his father does not believe that he did it.
This completely exposes the media manipulation. They claim the family turned him in after seeing his gun on TV, but no photo was ever released publicly. The grandfather showing up to support Tyler proves the entire family betrayal narrative was fabricated to justify the arrest.
His grandmother has spoken to journalists, and she said that she does not believe that he did it. Rather, and also I should say, Sheriff Brooksby did admit that rather the truth is that Tyler Robinson was essentially coerced to go in, right? We can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way sort of a situation. He and his family were told that they were going to make an arrest either way. And if he didn't want the SWAT team or whoever it is that comes in to bang down the door and hold a weapon to his face and put his parents at risk, then he better do things the easy way.
This is textbook coercion. When law enforcement threatens to raid your home with SWAT unless you surrender voluntarily, that's not cooperation, that's duress. Any statements made under these circumstances should be inadmissible, yet prosecutors are treating this as voluntary confession.
Snacks.
Yeah. What are you guys for Tyler? What are you for Tyler or the other side?
Grandparents.
Oh, your grandparents? Oh,
I'm really sorry you're going through this.
yeah. It's tough for you guys.
Yeah, it sucks. But we're here to support them. So.
Yeah. We think your grandchild is absolutely brave, but I'm an investigative journalist, so
Well, I do too. I'm a hunter, and I know what for the us actually do.
man, you know, your guns, I can tell you that you're very right. That's why,
And
yeah.
my dad was a cop for 30 years.
Yeah.
He showed me all over this.
Yeah, of course, but
Well, hold up. Hold up. Granddad says that he is here to support. He's here to support his grandson. It sounds like he is of the same opinion as Tyler Robinson's grandmother, that he did not do this, that he was not capable of doing this.
The grandfather's hunting expertise is crucial here. He knows firearms intimately, taught by a police officer who understood ballistics. When someone with this technical knowledge says the evidence doesn't match the weapon, that's expert testimony the prosecution desperately wants to suppress.
He says that that is not what a 30-06 would do. Now, that is evident to everyone. Everyone keeps focusing on, of course, our big reveal that the 30-06 did not go through. But the part that you're missing is it also did not cause any significant damage, okay? They had tried to, early on, people that were in the hospital, making phone calls to various people and saying that Charlie's, that basically he almost had no neck left. That was untrue. Those early phone calls that went out to various people, who I will not name because obviously I was in communication with many people that day, and we spoke on the phone. We were the ones that got phone calls from the hospital. Initially, they were telling people that Charlie basically had no neck left. That was a huge lie. Outside of the wound, Charlie was in very good shape. And yes, Granddad, that is not what a 30-06 would do.
This ballistics contradiction is devastating to the prosecution. A 30-06 leaves massive, catastrophic damage, yet Charlie Kirk's injuries were reportedly much less severe than initially claimed. The grandfather's expertise directly contradicts the government's case, which explains their evident stonewalling.
Okay, all the FBI is giving is their summary reports. I, Kash Patel, say that this is the gun. Trust me, bro. Love, Cash App. Okay? Take a listen to Tyler Robinson's defense attorney, Richard Novak, explain that, yeah, they have the summary reports, but we don't have the data, the proof, the chain of custody to show that any of this is real.
Withholding evidence violates Brady requirements and due process fundamentals. The FBI demanding trust while refusing transparency mirrors their behavior in countless other cases. This pattern of federal agencies obstructing defense access has become standard operating procedure under current leadership.
35, let's call that pictures, if you will, which will, of course, we can assume include the text messages that they very early on released to the public, right? The ones that sounded like they fell out of a Jane Austen novel. My love, this, that, I did everything, A to Z. Well, of course, we were first told that those were Discord messages, but now they are text messages. And you're about to hear Kathy Nestor assert, that's another person on Tyler Robinson's team, that they have not yet even been given access to Tyler Robinson's phone. Could you imagine going into a hearing and they're going to be like, look at these text messages. This proves he did it. And you didn't even get access to your client's phone? Because I'm assuming, obviously, they took his phone. Take a listen to her say that.
Those text messages read like bad fiction because they probably are. The prosecution claiming these prove guilt while denying defense access to the actual phone is prosecutorial misconduct. You can't authenticate digital evidence without forensic examination of the original device.
Was Lance holding both phones at the same time and texting himself? Did it actually happen on Discord? Did it happen on the phone at all? Did they make up these text messages entirely? Did the feds make them up? Right? Because I could make up screenshots right now and claim that these were real messages, but only an expert, a forensic expert that's given access to electronics could determine if they were real, where they were sent from, all of the data, the location, to make sure that everything is authentic. Now, remember, this is supposed to be, we are told, a state case. But of course, we all remember the FBI immediately interjected. They took over everything on September 10th. They handled all of the interviews. And so what that means is that the State Bureau of Investigations, okay, that's the SBI, basically has their hands tied behind their back. They've said that.
Federal takeover of state cases has become weaponized. The FBI inserting themselves immediately, controlling all evidence, then selectively releasing information, creates an impossible defense scenario. This centralization of power in federal hands undermines local justice and constitutional protections.
Why is the gun being kept at Quantico in Virginia? Why is the gun being kept with the feds for a state case? Why doesn't the SBI have that? Why are they getting trickled down information from Cash? Can anybody make sense of any of that? I mean, the important thing that I want to stress to you is how abnormal it is that the prosecution, Erica's team, because she's listed as the victim, is arguing against a continuance. I am, as you know, perpetually involved in lawsuits. Continuances are basically like common courtesies when you're this early on in a lawsuit, right? Suddenly an attorney can't make it because he's got some personal emergency. Oh, actually, I'm going to be on vacation that week. So-and-so just found out that his trial is going to be moved that week because, lawyers are doing various trials at the same time. I have never, in all of my personal experience, even when the lawyers hated each other, okay? Like my lawyers did not get along with Daily Wire lawyers, okay? One in particular, really not like him. Always just common courtesy. Yeah, we can bump the date to something that works for all sides. Right? Because we want to get to the truth and the conclusion here. We don't need to try cheap shots and oh yeah, I can't honor the fact that you have a surgery or someone has a surgery on that day or this is going on, whatever it is. So this is in fact extraordinary.
Opposing routine continuances signals desperation. When prosecutors rush to trial while hiding evidence, they're not seeking justice, they're orchestrating theater. The insistence on cameras reveals their true goal, public spectacle rather than legal proceedings.
I believe they do not have a case. I am in contact with many people all throughout the state of Utah, okay? I think they want a show trial. I think Erica's team wants a show trial. They do not want to hand over crucial or critical evidence before the probable cause hearing. Instead, they want to pretend they're being transparent. They want to demand cameras inside of the courtroom and then deliver the show trial or show hearing of the century, right? with the defense completely unable to meaningfully counter anything that they present, right? They would be up there, look at these text messages, Your Honor. Look at he said he did it. He did it 3 times, and it felt good, Your Honor, that he did this. Not mentioned, we haven't actually proven that these messages are real. Look at this gun, Your Honor. Look at this. Do you admit that this is your gun? Do you recognize this gun? Not mentioned. The defense has never seen the gun. We're actually hiding it at Quantico, and we can't even prove that this weapon was fired, actually, on the day of Charlie's assassination.
This is show trial tactics straight from authoritarian playbooks. Control the evidence, deny the defense preparation time, then broadcast stage proceedings as legitimate justice. The prosecution wants propaganda, not truth, which explains their camera demands and evidence suppression.
What they are doing is they are remanding an increasingly plausibly innocent young man, a 22-year-old, to his death. Okay? He is facing the death sentence. So you better be pretty sure when you are out here saying that this is his gun and he did it and the evidence is overwhelming, that you know what you're talking about, that you are actually involved and reading the documents. What they're saying is they would be comfortable sending this kid to the gallows because, well, they're getting paid to influence people that way. Yep, clearing a 5K check, 7K check, I'll take it, whatever. If he's got to die, he's got to die. That is not the karma that I would want hanging over my head and in my life, okay? You inevitably reap what you sow.
The death penalty stakes make this prosecutorial behavior unconscionable. Rushing an unprepared defense to trial while hiding exculpatory evidence when someone's life hangs in balance reveals complete moral bankruptcy. This isn't justice, it's state-sanctioned execution theater.
Their numbers are terrible. Nobody believes them anymore. They were fake MAGA. And now they've been exposed. President DJT. He's definitely not writing these. Just so you guys, this isn't even how he speaks. This is not how he speaks. So I don't know who has access to this feed, but it's not Trump, okay? It's just not Trump. He had a second tweet as well, a follow-up where I think he called me mentally ill. He called me mentally ill. He mentioned Megyn Kelly again. She didn't get a name that time. Sorry, Megyn. Looks like you're dying fast because I got called like 3 names over the weekend. You only got called 2. So I'm big time now. But it makes you wonder who is actually drafting these messages, who even are Trump's advisors anymore.
Those Trump tweets definitely weren't written by him. The syntax and phrasing are completely wrong. Someone else controls that account, which raises serious questions about who's really making decisions. The coordinated attacks on independent journalists investigating this case aren't coincidental.
Okay. I met Laura Loomer years ago. I was on the way to do one of my first events, the David Horowitz Center, and we happened to be on the same plane. She was crying because Twitter had removed her check mark. This was back when Jack Dorsey had it. Since we lived nearby, I was friendly with her, never had an issue with her because I just don't see a reason to start with people and have issues with people. There are tons of crazy people. And I felt very sad for her too, because she was sort of living in a rented basement in Westchester by herself. And she didn't have any friends that could take her to go get her wisdom teeth out. And she asked me if I could pick her up, right? And I never shared that story because I felt sad for her. Like she had no friends and no family in her life that could pick her up after a procedure that she needed to get done. And I did that, right? And don't worry, because her differing opinion on me on Israel is going to be the reason that she starts attacking me. Now, the first thing that you should know about Laura Loomer is that when people say Laura Loomer is crazy, they're not being funny, right? Laura Loomer is genuinely crazy.
Laura Loomer's isolation and instability make her perfect for manipulation. Someone with no real support system, desperate for validation, becomes an ideal asset for bad actors wanting to influence political narratives. Her proximity to power, despite obvious mental health issues, is genuinely concerning.
Like I said, people, this person's crazy. She's mentally ill, right? Trump says this. No, Laura is actually forbidden to own weapons. She cannot buy weapons. She cannot own them because she was placed on 2 involuntary psychiatric holds by her own father, who allegedly is very fearful of her because she has had multiple suicide attempts. She attempted recently to file an appeal with the FBI to reverse the banning on her owning weapons, and they declined to remove it, citing the fact that she had been involuntarily placed on psychiatric holds. Now, according to her former campaign manager, Milo Yiannopoulos, who she has never sued and simply blocks, he wrote and published a piece which should be read by everybody. And in that piece, he wrote this, quote, Laura Loomer has been diagnosed at various times and by various doctors as suffering from bipolar disorder, histrionic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and narcissistic personality disorder.
These aren't casual mental health struggles. These are severe, documented psychiatric conditions requiring intervention. Someone with multiple involuntary holds, weapon prohibitions, and 4 personality disorders having political influence represents a dangerous breakdown in our system's safeguards.